Yo, what's good, everybody? This is Dash Radio. I'm here with LA Masala. I'm Shahade the King, and we got a very special guest in the building, the ice cream man himself, Master P.
What's going on, y'all?
Man, this is a long time coming, man. I was thinking yesterday, getting ready for today, I was like, 20 years ago, I picked up 99 Ways to Die. And I was just consumed with it. And 20 years later, I'm sitting here talking to you, man. And like, it's, I told you before the interview started, there's no way we can get it all in right now. Your story, because your story is incredible. And you changed everybody's lives. Like, you really did, man. You changed music for everyone.
Yeah, you know, my thing was, when I got in the game, I wanted to show artists how to get paid, how to be bosses, how to be entrepreneurs.
Right.
And I think artists was just artists back in the day. They was just great lyricists. They was hip hop artists. Nobody really made money until I came into the game, when I said that's what I was gonna change. We gotta be able to use this to feed our families. I said this is gonna be $1 billion business, which it turned out to be.
Absolutely.
And a lot of people, they didn't get it. They just thought, I'm in it for the art. I'm in it for the culture. You know, I love all that too, the art and the culture, but I'm like, we got to feed our families too if we're going to survive and be able to be here like 2015 like we are, because a lot of people thought hip-hop was going to go away in 5 years.
Nah, it didn't happen. And to be clear with people, just to go back, or even to start here, so the NWA movie comes out, Straight Outta Compton.
Yeah.
Great story. Everybody loves it. This thing's made hundreds of millions of dollars. But if you want to break it down and get rid of names and everything, this is a movie about one of the best rap groups of all time, how they made absolutely no money, got fucked over, and didn't own any of their own shit. And then Dre and Cube are the lucky ones who made it out of this. But the entire rest of the story, everybody else pretty much lost.
Yeah, it was definitely a sad story.
And you show up right after that, and you said, you know what, I'm not trying to be the signed artist, be under somebody. That's crazy, you know? Like, I'm gonna do my own thing and I'm gonna make money. You literally, people need to know this, you literally were the first person who was like, as an artist, and you were like, I'm gonna own my own stuff. I'm gonna own my own music. I'm gonna be my own CEO. And at that time, people gotta understand this. At the time, people were just signing look at NWA. Jules, the whole movie is about them trying to break out of this horrible situation. To this day, we're still talking about it. These contracts, Jerry Heller, Eazy-E, who killed who, all this other shit. In the meanwhile, right after that, P changed the entire game by teaching people, like, I'm going to teach you how to make money for yourself, not for other people.
Yeah, I met all those guys. I met Jerry Heller, met Jimmy Iovine, you know, met Jerry Heller through Eazy-E. And, you know, they try to get at me. Yeah, P, you know, do management, but man, come on, man.
So they try to bring you on as well?
Yeah, they try to bring me on. Even Jimmy Iovine tried to sign me. You know, that was the first deal I turned down. They offered me $1 million. I only had $500 in my pocket. And so I went back home with nothing, but I realized that my value was bigger than what was going on.
Man.
And I told my brother, I said, if this man offered me $1 million and he don't know me, you know, I gotta be worth 40 or 50.
Already.
And me and my brother, we fought all the way. He's like, man, you crazy, you stupid. You about to go
Silk
back to
the
You about to go back to the project with $500? I'm saying, man, but I felt it. I felt that it hit a spark in my brain cell till I was like, now I'm about to go make something with this.
Yeah.
But I had to get out. I had to work though, because I wanted to be my own boss. So I had to work 10 times as harder. And then, you know, in the end, if you work hard, I tell any artist, if you believe in something. Like, cause when I was on the road with Tupac, maybe I had one fan, everybody was ready to see Tupac. But I'm like, I got one fan, that person in there jumping around, I'm like, man, I'm about to turn this into millions. And that's what I did. You know, I know they was coming to see Pot at first, but I said, I'm going to do my thing and I'm going to change this. And that's what I did.
You changed it for everybody, man. Not to mention, I was trying to count last night. I was like, how many people were on No Limit?
A lot. I mean, at one time we had 20 albums on the charts, on the top 200 charts at one time, and it was on the top 100 charts, 20 albums. So we probably at that time ran about, say, a good 15 to 20% of the music industry at that time. That's a lot. We
That's
always
a
had
lot.
a lot of companies out there at that time, but everything you seen was No Limit. We had 20 records on the top 100 and top 200 charts at one time, which has never been done before.
No, it's insane because I remember in real time that your record label and what you were doing for the fans.
Yeah.
Man.
Now it's all about the fans. That was people. That was
Every
people don't
week.
realize. Yeah, the fans. There's so many fans out there. A lot of people say it's too much music, but think about it. It's enough. It's never enough music because there's so many fans. Your fans appreciate it, knowing they dropped something new. Now I got something new to ride to. And a lot of the big companies was telling me at that time. Prodigy, the same company that Ice Cube was signed to. They told me I couldn't put out #1 record a year. I said, nah, I'm putting out 1 record a month. And they was like, you crazy. But I'm like, I own the company. So while Ice Cube was fighting to put his record out, I was putting out records anytime I wanted to because I'm the boss.
Yep.
And I did a distribution deal where I made 80% and they made 20%.
Unheard of. Never will happen again,
I was just
sure.
watching a Snoop Dogg interview and he's like, when I was with Death Row, we were getting money. But he's like, when I went to No Limit, he's like, everyone was getting money. We had the cars, the artists had the cars, the artists had the money, the jewelry, everything.
Yeah, and on top of it, P saved Snoop and gave us Snoop Dogg. I don't really think people talk about that enough.
Yeah, well, it'll be in the movie. Y'all see how it happened. It was an incident, but we do what we do.
Well, thank you. Regardless, thank you. Because I remember even at the time, man, it was, again, as a fan, it was like we were all destroyed over the Snoop Dogg thing because Snoop was everybody's favorite rapper, right, in the world.
I knew Snoop had a lot of talent, and a lot of people didn't believe in him, but I believed in him. I was a fan of his at the time.
How did that work though, P? Like, did you initiate the conversation? Did you call Snoop? Where did all that take place though?
I called Snoop and I asked him what was going on because I knew that they was trying to shop a deal for him. And so once I found out that Snoop was up, that his contract was up, and then I think Suge was in prison at the time. So I just went over there and said, man, look, my money's spent. I want a shot at this. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm just a country boy out here trying to make it. I got a little money. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I told him. I say, look, whatever they gonna give you, I might give you a little bit more than that. Whatever the deal you about to take, I'm gonna give you a little bit more than that. Say, what's up? Whatever it do, I made it do what it do. Next day his money was there.
That's crazy, man. And it changed everything. I'm telling you, everything would be different if you didn't do that. It really would. Like Snoop could have been on, I don't even want to guess, man. He could have been on the worst label in the world, you know?
Nah, but the thing about it is you got to have somebody to believe in you. And that's what, with Ace B right there, he the future for No Limit for us because we believe in him and he believe in himself. And he understand the business. He understand the hard work. And he understand I'm not going to stamp nothing unless I know he willing to work like we are. You know, the same thing with Snoop. People sit around and talk about Snoop smoke, but that man work.
Yeah.
I ain't never seen nobody that smoke that work like that. You know what I'm saying?
He's always doing something.
Maybe Wiz, but yeah.
Yeah, but Wiz too. You know what I'm saying? You can say that, but matter of fact, I just hit him up. I said, man, I'm about to start bringing artists to Dubai. So I say, man, you and Wiz need to come out there with me. I'm gonna probably try to get like a Rihanna or somebody. We're gonna try to go out there and do some shows out there in Dubai, but we gotta expand our horizon with whatever we doing. Right. That's what I taught Snoop. I said, man, don't just be about the music. Get into other things. Get into sponsorship packages. Get into all these different things. You know what I'm saying? Don't just sit back. Make your own product.
So you really put that in his ear at the time.
Yeah,
that's
because
wild.
To be honest with you, he always been a humble, laid back dude. But it's like you gotta go for what you like, and you see all this stuff going on. Go for it. Don't just sit around and let this stuff pass you up. You know what I'm saying? You gonna get older.
No, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So the music is gonna be always gonna be a big part of your life, but as you get older, it's still gonna be a smaller part of your life. It's not gonna be the main thing that drive you. So
and look what happened.
Yeah,
that's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
Snoop is a brand himself. It's not just the music, I don't want to go too far away from this because I want to stay home where you helped a lot of artists that people don't know. So we named Snoop.
Yeah,
I want to go back to Mystical for a second.
Yeah,
I remember when all of a sudden Mystical was on No Limit.
Yeah.
And it was the most badass shit. I didn't know, because when Mystical was on Cash Money before, right?
No, he was signed to Jive Records.
That's right. Deal. But no, Cash Money had the diss towards Mystical. That's what it was.
Yeah. Well, Mystical had problems in New Orleans at first, and we was able to straighten that out. So, he went through some things. I thought he was a hell of a talent. I wanted to see this kid live, and I said, man, you don't have to be with us, because at that time, a lot of crazy stuff was happening in New Orleans. And if you wasn't strong, you couldn't survive. It's just
what it was.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, people don't realize, even when I went to Jive Records, I said, man, it's real out here on these streets. You're not going to be able to protect this. This man is a hell of a talent, but we got a war going on out here.
Right.
And that's it, at the time it was. And so people don't realize that we thankful that God spared our life when we could be able to do this. I mean, when I was growing up in New Orleans, I tell people all the time, my goal was to live to be 19.
19 years old.
You know what I'm saying? Which is crazy, but it sounds crazy, but
that's
we lived back there. Me and his uncle used to hang. R.I.P. to Bruce, he gone. His other uncle used to hang with me. He dead. You know what I'm saying? A lot of these boys died young.
Right.
And so, they didn't get a chance to see this. My brother died at 19. You know what I'm saying? He didn't get a chance to see this, so it's like.
So you were expecting it, basically.
Yeah, I was, to be honest, because it's the life we was living.
But I remember at the time too, though, listening, because all we had at the time was the music, man, and a couple magazines.
Yeah.
That was it. But I remember you took us there. We were like, man, this is the murder capital of the world right here, man. But it was real. Like, everything you were saying, it didn't sound like a rap record to me.
Nah, it was like.
It sounded like you were telling your stories right there.
When you hear Bout It, I represent where them killers at. Third Ward Kelly, your project, we got our own thing. It's a small hood, but it's all good. And Mr. Rogers ain't got shit up on my neighborhood. But it's all real. I mean, it's like you can't fake that. It's like you got to be in the moment. And that's how I tell people all the time, y'all look at us and y'all might say this about us, but we survived something that a lot of people couldn't survive. And when I come outside, it's real. It's different. New Orleans is small, even though it's a lot of violence in California. But y'all spread it out. You could go different places. Like me, if I live in the Cali, the Magnolia, a couple of blocks up the street. In the Melpomene, another couple of blocks up the street. These all
there's no way to get away
projects.
from it.
You can't get away because think about somebody gonna see you. So this is all a small place. I mean, how many people we have in New Orleans? But what's the number we have? Because I was looking at the murder capital at the time. We have the smallest people, but the most debt
per capita. That's crazy.
Per capita, which was, I'm glad that people are waking up. They're growing up. And now, people see me change my life because I wanted to live for my kids. Romeo really changed my life. Having a young son at a young age, it took me,
how old were you when you had him, 18?
Yeah. So I said, man, I need to go. I'm ready to go. And I jumped on and cut out, and he did it for me because I wanted to see all my friends' kids that's Romeo age are dead or in prison right now. They kids. I ain't even talking about them.
That's real. You seen Nas's documentary they did on Nas?
I ain't seen
it.
They
put up a big picture from when he was young.
Yeah.
There are probably like 15, 20 people there.
Yeah.
Just 2 of them left.
Yeah.
Out of everybody's Nas and his brother Jungle. And that was it, man.
Yeah. No, you got to go and move on if you want a better life for yourself. And I think that's what I was able to do. Like I said, we never was perfect. We come from a rough past. But we always live eye for eye. We ain't never get out and start troubles. Like I always stood up if somebody messed with me. When I was young, I went to juvie. I got in trouble. They took me to boxing school, so I always had good hands.
Got them hands,
You know what I'm saying? So I was thankful for that.
Well, No Limit never even as far as y'all never like diss nobody on records. That wasn't never a thing. I want to ask you a question, and I'm not asking you to spin us into a bad answer. So just whatever the real answer is. But growing up, we always wondered Cash Money versus No Limit. Not a beef thing, but just really like, was it so raw where y'all were from that just people just didn't talk to each other? Like, we always wondered why we never got a record or why nothing ever happened or anything. Well,
if you look at my CNN story, y'all could pull it up when y'all get some time. It's a masterpiece CNN story. So my homeboy at the end of that died, we always thought somebody from the Magnolia did it. So it was like nothing I could, even though Cash Money was cool, they was making good records as far as us. We just couldn't do it.
You didn't know?
No, we didn't know. But, as time went by, we figured out, nobody had nothing to do with that. But it was like, we respected it, but still, at that time, that's what it was. So it's like, we can't even work together.
Right.
Even if we wanted to, because the people around us.
No, it was too much. It was way too much. Too much involved.
If I wanted to be like, my homeboys already like, it's just gonna go down. You know what I'm saying? Regardless, even if, so I'm like, you know what, we just leave that alone.
Yo, that's the answer though. That's real. We'd always wonder because y'all it was two major record labels like in the same area.
I've always saluted them and happy for them. It's like, but at the same time, we really was living that.
Yeah,
it's a difference. You know what I'm saying? I don't really know how much they was living, but we was living that. You know what I'm saying? And by the grace of God, we was able to snap up out of it.
Yeah, and for other people, like I said, even going back, Soulja Slim.
Yeah, Soulja Slim, rest in peace.
Yo, honestly though, I think if you hadn't signed him to No Limit, people wouldn't be talking about Soulja Slim right now. That's just my opinion. I don't mean from his skill set and who he was, but I just meant like you made him mainstream for.
Yeah, but that's like I told Ace. When I met Soulja Slim, he was robbing one of the producers that I'm just for real.
Right.
He had a gun on one of the producers that I'm like, hold up, man. Me and my boy, like, you know who that is? He was like, no, big dog, that's your people. I said, yeah, man, you got to go on with that. Give him his money back.
Damn.
You know what I'm saying? So he was like, nah, man, but I can rap. I'm like, man, hold up, man. We're going to get to that later. But, whatever you doing, getting high, whatever, you got to leave that alone. Nah, I ain't doing that no more. You know what I'm saying? So I said, hit me up, man, when you get it together.
Yo, how did you never get caught up in, and I'm not asking a generalized question of like, how'd you not get into drugs? I mean, like, where you're from, it was a thing.
Let me tell you
It was
something.
a thing. You know what I'm saying? We're talking Turk, BG, a lot of people.
Let me tell you, man, the thing was, in my house, I seen so much of that. So as a kid, it made me sick knowing that I watched my people suffer.
Who was in? You mean from your parents?
No, relatives.
Oh, just everybody,
relatives
family.
And family in the house. I lived with my grandmother. She had 12 kids. So I hustle, and then I have a relative who say, "Look, man, you better do something for me before I sell Big Mama TV or." VCR, cause back then VCR was like $1,500.
It was popping, yeah, it's a big deal. Yeah,
you sell a VCR, we really got to do something to you. Now you a family member, so it's like, man, I watched that pain and what they went through, and I said, I can't do that to myself. So that always shied me away. So also
sports too.
Sports, but my first year in high school, I went to the worst school in New Orleans, Booker T. Washington. It's in the middle of the project where I live at. So first day I get to school, they offered me some coke. My dad had prepared me for, they gonna offer you a beer, they gonna offer you a cigarette. I come back home, I say, Dad,
you was
worse than that.
Straight coke the first day. I'm like,
damn.
Look, I'm in the fighting the dudes that did this, like they all dead or in jail now, but it was funny because they caught, man, you a square. I said, okay, well, come over and put these hands on me.
Right. I ain't that square. Yeah. No, I always wondered that though, man.
That's what saved me, man. Even with the alcohol, I watched my uncle, man. He got all his stomach cut open, the cirrhosis of the liver. They told him he can't drink no more. That boy's still drinking. All these pens, all this stuff in his
still going.
He's still going. And I see how crazy it make him. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you've been around and you got family members that hit that alcohol and it make you crazy, you as a kid, you don't want no part.
No,
like
it
me.
turns you off.
Yeah, me, I was like, I'm gonna break that cycle. That's what. And then sports did it for me too. I mean, playing basketball, it saved my life. It took me out of a lot of situations. People don't know, I went to the University of Houston on a basketball scholarship. So, that took me out where people respected me. They feel like, man, this kid gonna make it. So they'll do stuff and let me make it. Be like, P, man, keep shooting that ball. But all y'all lay it down.
Right. And they did, and at the University of Houston, that's where really everything kind of came together for you too. You met Jay Prince, right?
I met Lil
that story is the greatest thing ever to me. We're like, what do you do? He pulls up to the club, all these people, everything, and P's like,
I'm a college student, so I see Jay Prince, Mercedes, mink coats, and I'm like, this little dude that's the man right there. So I walk up to him, square, don't know what's going on. I said, man, what you do? The guys circle me and stuff and be like, say, nah, man, I play basketball for UH. He said, no, I own a record company. I said, a record company? First time I ever seen a black man that owned a record company. So I'm like, and then when he told me he put out the Ghetto Boys, I was impressed. And I'm like, man, the Ghetto Boys, they was big at the time.
Super
Mind
big,
playing
yeah.
tricks on you, all that stuff. So I'm like, but I was playing basketball, so it just clicked to me. And I didn't know what I was gonna do, but when I got hurt playing basketball, because when you played for University of Houston, that was like being in the pros. It was like the top college in the country. So,
Yeah, man, it was that meeting where you met Jay Prince, again, another thing that changed everything, because I think it's big what you said. It was the first time he seen a black man owning a record label. And referencing back to what I was saying about NWA and P coming through after that, it's like, that's what led you to that moment where it's nah, we finna own everything.
Yeah.
Your CD said executive producer on the back.
Yeah.
There wasn't nobody. Actually, I do want to ask you a question.
Yeah.
The only other person at the time, I want to know the timing was, did No Limit start first or Sick With It? Do you know? Well, either way.
You talking about E40?
Yeah.
No, let me tell you something.
Because you said you learned a lot of shit from the Bay.
Yeah, no, E40 was first because I did music with his uncle, St. Charles, out there at the time.
Whoa.
But they was signed. What happened, E40, they did a deal quick with Jive.
Right.
So me, I was just still hustling and grinding. So whatever they did at that time, they could have kept going, but by me just being independent and just did it, I feel like I made a lot of money. I opened up a lot of more doors and opportunity because, even some of the game I learned from them, I learned from their uncle, St. Charles in the Bay. So, I even got beat the first time. It was like Intermittent Records, the dude, Jason Blaine, he had Too Short, had all RBL Posse, all them dudes.
Oh, wow.
You know what I'm saying? They ain't paid me. At my first record, they ain't paid me. So that's another thing made me like, man,
off
look,
rip.
I could have went crazy. You know what I'm saying? Man,
Right.
I'm about to shut this place down, but y'all don't really know me. But I'm like, you know what? That let me know that I could do this.
Yeah,
So,
I was curious because I know at the time, number one, I wrote this down.
Yeah.
I don't even write notes, but I was like,
Yeah.
I got to write this down, so I say this because specifically you were the person who introduced the South to the West Coast.
Oh, yeah.
Dead ass serious. We was listening to E40, Be Legit, The Click, Brother Lynch Young. I could keep going forever. And you were the first person who did that. You want me to give you another first, Jules? Because I'm turned right now. You want me to give you another first? First time I ever saw a double CD ever.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yeah.
Ever. Down South Hustlers came out. Fucked my whole head up. My whole head. It was like, nobody did that. What made you do that? Was that your own? Was that a money decision? Because
that was me being from the streets. Said I'm gonna get a world of 2 for 1. So that's what we did in the streets. It's like when you're out there hustling, people come back, you give them a 2 for 1. And I just brought that to the.
Are you fucking kidding me? I go to the record store. Are you fucking kidding me? And this over here, and I got a double disc.
Yeah.
I'm looking through, and I'm like, UGK, A-Bon, MJ. Like I could keep going down this list. I'm like. So another question I had, P, you were the first person, you brought everybody together. Nobody did that. Nobody did that shit. I even thought of this too, another first. Meal ticket, just as an example, right?
Yeah.
Nobody put Bosses on the same record.
Yeah.
Nobody did that. This record was you, UGK, and 8-Ball and MJG.
Yeah.
And it's like, that shit is unheard of. How the fuck did you even think of that? Number one. Number two, how, like, just to stick with number one, how'd you think of that at the time? Now it's a marketing strategy and you can cover different regions and whatnot. But
at the same time I was in the Bay, I put together this West Coast Bad Boys project.
I bought it.
What happened was everybody was against each other. So they had one dude named Herm Loop. He always put out collaborations, but they couldn't get everybody to get all the bigger people because they felt the money was never right.
Right.
With me, I didn't care. Whatever I asked the artist, what you want? I'm on my hustle anyway. So whatever they said, here. So it's no question. They already took the money. And whoever over here, they like, P, how you gonna put all these people together because they all from different places? Say, no, this ain't about being from a different place. It's about money. And that's what I did. I went to every hood. Like JT the Bigger Figure, I went in his project, made the record. Rapping Forte, Sibo, whoever.
Who was your you're A&R, like your scout. Like, how did you find these people? How did you know who was who? Or was it
it was me. I was in the streets.
So that's what I was going to say. So you knew.
Being in the streets, it was like, let me tell you something, man. My career, being in the Bay, my career would have never made it. It's all God. So at first I started out here, Master P, big old, I tell Ace this story, big old trust nobody with the gun on the back of the jacket, because that's how we was living.
Right.
So I'm from Richmond, even though I'm from New Orleans, but I'm living in Richmond.
Right.
So I don't know all the stuff go on with Richmond, Oakland, San Francisco. That was a crazy thing at the time. So I go to the club with EA Ski, Silk, my other little partner, Big Ed, rest in peace. He he work out. He was really feeling himself that night. So EA Ski them left or whatever. Me, him, and Silk. We from Richmond. We in an Oakland club. I'm talking about a real. If you from Oakland, you know. So right. But by me, I'm cool because I go out and shoot dice on 35th Ave in Oakland all the time with my homeboys. So I'm like, it ain't no thing to me.
Right.
But somebody stepped on Silk's shoe or something, and then Big Ad just went crazy. I'm like, man, y'all leave it on. I'm about to go to the car. They're like, no, we about to figure out who did this. So it's some little dude who supposed to have did it. Now how crazy is they step on a man's shoe? So I said, Silk, man, let that go, man. But we wild at the time. I'm on my way to the car. Man, only thing I see, Big Ad out of nowhere, just wow, hit the dude. All hell break out. All I hear is, he's Oakland, he's Oakland.
Oh, shit.
Man, they was jumping all over from the barricades to everything, right? So, I mean, this one dude, I don't know, I think he was the Incredible Hulk or something. I ain't never seen a dude look like that. Like he just got out of jail.
Like super jacked up, yeah.
I mean, that was their guy. So my guy was big, we call him Big Ed. He work out, he about his business. But this guy was something about him, man. I started running to the car. He hit Big Ed, I didn't even know what happened. Big Ed knocked out on the ground.
Oh, fuck.
It's just me and Silk in there. Everybody scrapping, whatever. I get to the car, go get my thing, come back. They see me, I clear the whole club. Yeah, everybody running. I see the dude, so I try to let something go. Da-da-da. Nothing come out.
Oh, shit.
Everybody running. This is a real story. Everybody running.
Your shit jammed or what?
I don't know.
It just didn't happen.
It wasn't for me.
Good.
So we start heading to the car. We get Big Ed up out there, start getting him to the car. I see the guy again. I jump back out. Add him again. Nothing happened. Guy running again. He running to the side. I get in the car, start driving, go back to the other side. This is my homeboy. Y'all just did this too.
Right, so right. You're lit. Yeah.
I see him the other way. I jump out. He running. Nothing happened. Say, man, come on, let's go. I get under the bridge in Emeryville and just put it out the window. Say, man, I'm about to make it, man. Because I was going to the penitentiary right there. Nothing happened, was just God.
That stuff that really like resonated with you at the moment where you're like, man.
I knew I was going to make it right there. I say, I'm going to make it.
Because even the Pac thing, you say, where the story where Pac got into the fight in the club and then they're like, well, they left. Yeah. Can you open? And you're like, I know there's so many things that fell in your path where you're like, man, this is what I'm supposed to be doing.
I know, and I started realizing I started separating myself from the people that was getting me in trouble. I was going out there because anybody don't realize you might could be doing the right thing, but the people around you could get you in trouble. Like my homeboy, he didn't have to hit the dude for stepping on Silk's shoe. Right. He really didn't have to do that. Think about it. We could have just went home and it would have been all good, but you know, you make your bed, you gotta lie, and he didn't know they had this other big dude in there that was
bigger, bigger Ed, yeah. So Big Ed was really big?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man, I always wondered that because I just thought everybody be like big something, you know, a little something. I was like, Big Ed was cold too, man. Rest in peace. Big Ed was super nice. Yeah. That's crazy, man. I want to ask you a question about, again, I can't even get it off in this interview, man. We ain't got enough time, but nobody's asked you this, but I'm going to ask because I'm a real fan. So Future dropped Dirty Sprite 2. There's a record on there called Freak Ho. Not Freak Hoes, Freak Ho. Have you heard this record?
Yeah, matter of fact, I just heard it like a couple of days ago. They just let me hear it.
It is Freak Hold. It's your record. Yeah. It was, what was it? You and Mia X?
Yep, and Silk.
And Silk, right? Originally. Yeah. And like, did he, so you didn't even know about this. It just came out.
Now, you know the thing about it is business, whatever, you know, I have with my publishing company, they take care of whatever, but I don't even mean it bad. I just meant you weren't aware. To me, I was like, oh, this P's record. But it was dope because Future is one of the biggest artists in the world right now. For him to take that and bring it back, I thought it was dope, man. Now, I mean, matter of fact, I did that same record maybe about a year ago, and we just put some finishing touches on it and put it out, but we didn't even know. You know what I'm saying? But everybody said, man, we need to redo Freak Hold. Yeah. We redo it. So I started, I did the verses and stuff, and I always tell the producer, mix it down. You know, and it was like, you know what? We let a couple radio people, a couple club people hear it. They was like, man, we want that record. And then, like you said, you know, oh, this what happened. So. Okay,
you remember something.
So I got one of the kids that worked for me. You know, he Latino. He gonna tell me, yeah, boss, you just redid Future record. I said, come on in here, let me talk to you.
Yeah.
Let me tell you a little story.
Like, nah, let me really rewind the tape for a minute.
Come on, man, let me get, you know, you work here, you need to have some history on what's going on. But it was good, it was funny though.
But the good thing too, P, and it's your fault. You did so much shit.
Yeah,
man, it's hard for people to keep up with everything, man.
Yeah, and that's good. That's a good thing. You know, we sold 75 million records. We got a lot of classics. And you know, I feel like that's a good thing that the time is going back to the 90s. That just go to show you. Because at our time, we was taking records from the 80s.
Yeah.
So now it's going back to the 90s, all the retro. You know, I just put out a lot of No Limit Clothing, which a lot of fans like. You know, I did the thing with DGK. And it's like.
Shout out DGK.
Yeah, shout out to them, man. It's like the fans want a lot of the retro stuff. Because we was wearing the Run DMC stuff during my time.
Yeah.
You know, I used to go in the club and fight with my Run DMC Adidas sweatsuit on.
Who was your favorite rapper?
I think Run DMC, Eric B. and Rakim, Ice-T. You know, I used to bump around. I was living in the real trap.
Right.
So I used to bump around Ice-T colors. I am a nightmare walking psychopath. I was living there, so, you know, my grandmother said, boy, cut that music. And I got Romeo in the car with me. You know what I'm saying? My grandma said, nah, you got to get that boy back there. But I was living like that. But and let me tell you something. A lot of people say the music turn people to who they is. It didn't do it for me. I just like the music. So if you're going to go commit a crime, you can't blame it on Ice-T, me, or whoever. You know, that's just an excuse. So whatever that crime that you're going to go commit, you're going to do that anyway.
No, it's real.
You know what I'm saying? But people do that. They try to find an excuse.
No, and tie it together. People do it with marijuana all the time. I'm like, they're like, marijuana makes slaves. I'm like, marijuana's a plant in the ground, over there. Yeah. You got up and made yourself
They even say guns kill people. Guns don't kill people. It's the people.
People kill people. Absolutely, man. Yeah. Yo, another record that Master P did something with a long time ago that showed up a couple years ago this is a real story. You don't know this. So, Problem.
Yeah.
I meet Problem for the first time.
Yeah.
Shout out to homie Problem. He hands me his mixtape.
Yeah.
Mollywood 2.
Yeah.
I'm listening to it. I'm riding. I usually don't take people's records and just run through them, to be honest with you. But I'm like, this is the homie, I'm going to listen to it. Yeah. He was cool. I get to this record, like what?
Yeah.
All of a sudden I hear the How You Do That sample.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And I was like, holy shit, because I grew up on the original record.
Yeah.
It's not exaggeration. Problem's mixtape had been out for 6 months.
Yeah.
So pretty much it was at the end of his.
Yeah.
I brought that record to Ski, to DJ Ski, and I said, we got to play this record right now.
Yeah.
And he was like, what's up? And I'm like, this is a hit record.
Yeah.
I know it's a hit record. Like, Problem killed it, but I'm telling you, I know this is a hit record. I grew up on this record. How you do that there? Like, I knew it.
Yeah.
Ski was like, fuck it. Let's run it. I'm with you. So we start playing it all the time. Next thing you know, Sirius XM calls us, Hip Hop Nation. I'm like, why y'all playing this so much?
Yeah.
Not checking us, just checking in. We're like, yo, this record's fire.
Yeah.
They're like, bet, we're going to add it to full rotation.
Yeah.
Boom. Next thing you know, terrestrial radio picks it up.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, Diddy's dancing in front of his jet to Like What and all this other shit.
Yeah.
And it's because I took that record and here we don't have no roadblocks, so I can play the record. It ain't no politics. and that became one of the biggest records of the year. Yeah. But it's your fucking fault. It's all because of you. A long time later, man. But it's because if I ain't heard how you do that, and I didn't happen to move to LA 20 years later and all this other shit and hear Problems record.
Nah, but that's what it is. It's like when you got a classic and you got something that's real, you know, you could it never goes away. Like when I do miss my homies, it could be 20 years from now. People still gonna be able, because they losing people. Like people know where that record come from. That record come from here. It don't come from just sitting down and trying to paint a picture. You know, that record come from living that and losing somebody. And, you know, my brother at a young age, somebody that I grew up in a bunk bed with. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And somebody I wake up every morning and I can't see him no more. You know what I'm saying? Somebody had to raise their child. He never even seen his kid because his girl was pregnant at the time. So it's like I had to do what I had to do, but it ripped a lot of stuff out of me to where you ain't had to sit down and write now. You just
tell your story, right?
Turn the mic on and let it go.
Well, it came through in the records, man. I mean, always like I remember even Bourbons and Lax. Yeah. Like homies and thugs, right? Yeah. Can you please tell us the story behind this Pac? It sounded like Pac did over the phone, or can you explain where that came from, please? It was you and Scarface and Pac.
Tupac. Yes. Yeah. You know, I mean, we just did our thing, man. At the time, we wasn't can. We was just wilding out, but we was the streets. You know, if you look at Tupac and me and Scarface from, you know, New Orleans to Texas, you got like a big part of the world with just those three people that people was following. And it was like we needed to do something. And my whole thing was like, how we gonna look when we get older doing this, you know? Is we still gonna be able to do this? And you know, I mean, the love just was there. It was crazy when I first recorded that record though, because
he had already passed.
Yeah, he recorded most of that record. Oh. That record was recorded, but we couldn't get no video on him. So you see the you know, the stuff he had in the studio. Right. That's what it was. So, but man, we was wild at that time. I remember like when we first went to record that record, they put up the what you call that when you gun to see if you got a gun on you or something.
Oh, the metal detectors and all that shit.
I told the dude, I said, man, you might as well cut that off because everybody gonna use it. It was like, right. It was like, but you know, but it was all love. It was everybody loved each other, and everybody wanted to see each other make it.
Yeah, you and Pac, I can tell that Pac heavily influenced you because even after Pac passed, in your music, we could hear it. Yeah, because your vocal cord, the way you were saying words, your the cadence, it was very like. And at the time, it was like, I don't know, man. It almost like sounded like we got a brand new energized P, but it was even more. But it was more passionate, more everything, because it went from before you were telling us the rough stories, and then it's like here's a conclusion to one, you know. And it's like,
well, I think people around you influence you, and then when you lose things, you know, you wanna give stuff back to the world to keep it going. That's what I did when I lost my brother. I like put it in my music to keep it going. I thought that, you know, by me being in Oakland and San Francisco and Richmond, you know, I knew the struggle. I knew the life that Tupac really lived. You know what I'm saying? Because I was out there. I was out there in the streets, and I was out there when, you know, a lot of people that talk this stuff, but they never got down and dirty. You know, and when you talk about Oakland, man, I had a lot of friends out there in Oakland, a lot of guys that I grew up with. A lot of them not here now. A lot of them done grew up. A lot of them done changed their lives. Some of them in prison, but they know we touched each other, and you know, it's like you got to grow up. You know, I feel like with Pac, he died young. We never got a chance to grow up.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? So every now and then, if I could give something, and then I had another artist around me named Crazy. People thought he was Tupac. You know what I'm saying? They'll hear his verse, they'd be like, so. But Pac had that effect on people that you know, you brought something out of, you know, he brought something out of people. So
yeah, I think he did for all of us, man. But you definitely heard what you for sure.
Yeah. And it's your influence and stories like that make people like us so excited to see your new movie. Because when we first brought it up, there was a couple of people here, and they're like, Master P, but he's not as big as NWA. And me and Shahada turned to each other and we're like, don't start with us, because that's definitely not true.
No, it's next level. Like I was saying earlier when we started this whole thing, like all due respect to Straight Outta Compton, NWA, but that was about a rap group. We're talking about, let me just to define this.
Single-handedly a person, yeah.
Well, people want to talk about P like, with all due respect to anybody else, I'm going to say, but they want to talk about P like a Diddy or like a Dre or something like that. Like P should be talked about like a Jimmy Iovine. Like, but even, I mean, no disrespect to Jimmy Iovine, maybe even better in a different way, because who you were doing it for, and who could, Jimmy Iovine was doing it for Jimmy Iovine and his people. God bless him and everything. But like I said, you painted a picture for all of us. You know, everybody in the struggle, everybody coming up. And you're. Yeah, like I said, you got to come back, because this ain't even a 1/10 of his story at all. Nothing even close to it,
Yeah, my thing is right now, we're going to show the world what's going to be different, the evolution of us, where we could be relevant now. We could take a record like the Freaky record, and, even the people that forgot about who we were, even that from this generation to now, they will understand what we done and who we are now again, which that's history in itself, being able to do this twice and being able to create other artists at the same time, because I feel like you ain't great if you just can make yourself. You got to be able to, that's why you see this man right here. If I could make myself again in the music industry with a record and also create another artist at the same time, then you're going to see who I really am.
That's real, man.
You're going to get out here and touch the people, just to the fans. I feel like you keep it real and you make good music. I mean, what you thought when you heard the Freaky record? What you thought?
I mean, it's what I said. Immediately, it was like, this is P's record, but it's still dope, because but he's doing the exact same hook, same everything.
What do you thought when you heard my new record? When you, like, remember how we went to the clubs, we were fun. Instantly, people already took to it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that just go to show you that if you got it, you got it. If you don't, you don't. That's how I feel. You can't make it if you don't have it.
Well, I'll say it for you. No limit forever. Yeah. How about that? Yeah. It's really like that. Yeah. Yo, we got to let you go, man. You got to go to some other place. I'm going to have to bring you back. All right. Yo, where can everybody check y'all out, though, right now? Your Twitter's at Master P. Miller, right?
Yeah, and Ace B.
You can get me on IG at I'm Ace B. I am ACEB.
Okay, bet. Yeah. Yo, what single you want to play? What record you want to play when we heading out?
I want to play Freaky, the Master P from the Empire, the new record Freaky.
All right.
So if I know it's Halloween time, if y'all want to get freaky, play this in the club. If you want to get freaky in your house, go on play this. You ain't got to know, you don't want nobody to know what you doing. Play this record by yourself.
That's what's up, man. Yo, thank y'all for stopping by. Real talk. I appreciate it, man. Yeah, you heard me. Let's get it. Let's get in this.